Hello and welcome to Clash of the Dice. I'm James.
I'm Joshua.
And in this game we are going to be playing Warcry and we are in the 8 points. So we're reenacting part of one of the historical battles. So this game is set during the Siege of the Silver Tower. So towards the end of Age of Sigmar's 2nd edition there was the Broken Realms series of campaign books. And in Broken Realms Be'lakor there's a story in which some Seraphon get into the 8 points and lay siege to the Silver Tower of a gaunt summoner called the Eater of Tomes. Now this was all part of kind of a grand stratagem by Lord Croak, and he had ulterior motives for attacking this Silver Tower. Basically he wanted it to move into what is effectively warp space, where it then got attacked by Seraphon starships and forced it to crash land into the realm of Chamon. So we're reenacting a little bit of that. So we are in the 8 points, and the Seraphon have cut through the initial defences, which was basically a line of Zangors. We're not reenacting that bit, mainly because I haven't painted my Zangors yet. But once they got closer to the Silver Tower, all the demons started coming out. And that's the part of the battle, or just a tiny snippet of the battle, that we're looking to reenact here. So we've got some Seraphon going up against some Daemons of Tzeentch. Now you've got to imagine that this kind of rugged defence line, for want of a better term, stretches off for miles and miles on either side as it encompasses the Silver Tower. And over in the back you've got Bastillodons firing giant sun rays at the Silver Tower, trying to force it to move as per Lord Croak's grand stratagem. Right, enough of my waffle, let's have a look at the warbands. So this is my warband of Daemons of Tzeentch, and they are being led by Ep3, a changecaster from the Chamber of the Scheming Warpfire, which is my own demon host. Along with him, to the left, this chap here, we've got an Iridescent Horror, who is the champion, and we've got 7 pink horrors, so 9 models in total because Tzeentch. Now anybody knows anything about pink horrors knows that they can split into blue horrors, and blue horrors can then split into brimstone horrors. Now you can't automatically do that in Warcry. It is an ability which costs you a double. So if Joshua inflicts any damage on a horror, it doesn't have to kill it, just has to inflict damage on it. I can then spend a double as part of the pink horrors activation to split it into blue horrors, and then the blue horrors another double to split it into brimstone horrors. So they're split into the dagger, shield and hammer from left to right, so 3 models in each. Nice and simple.
This is my warband of Seraphon. It is comprised of 6 Saurus Guard and is led by a Saurus Guard Alpha. They are arranged in the dagger, shield and hammer from left to right, and I'm hoping that I can combat the splitting of the blue horrors, which kind of terrifies me.
So the way we are representing this little snippet of the Siege of the Silver Tower is with these cards. So for the victory condition we're using Ebb and Flow. The players roll off and the winner chooses who the attacker and who is the defender. Well, we're not rolling off. Joshua is the attacker as the Seraphon, and I'm the defender as the Daemons of Tzeentch. The defender, that would be me, places 3 objectives on the battlefield, each more than 6 inches from any other objectives and the battlefield edge. At the start of each battle round, before the hero phase, the defender picks 1 objective to be the primary objective, so I'm going to select one of the objectives and that's the primary. At the end of each battle round, the players score 1 victory point for each objective they control. The attacker scores 3 victory points instead of 1 for controlling the primary objective. So Joshua gets the chance to score more points than me, hence why I've made the objectives quite difficult for him to get to. The battle ends after 3 battle rounds, so quite a short game. When the battle ends, the player with the most victory points wins the battle. So I went for Ebb and Flow because, as I say, this is not necessarily an all-out assault on the Silver Tower. Lord Croak is just trying to get them to react in the way that he wants them to react. So not necessarily about slaughtering everything, he's got a very specific thing he wants to achieve. And because he's going up against the Changer of the Ways, the Lord of Fate, the twist I've selected is Winds of Fate. So players roll 7 initiative dice each battle round instead of 6, because yeah, Lord Croak. He is a seer. He's got some kind of ability to see into the future because he is one of the old ones. And of course, Tzeentch, yeah. And the battle map we're using is Show of Strength. So effectively, diagonal deployment from the corners. I'll be the red, Joshua will be the blue. So dagger down here towards the bottom, hammer over on the side, and the shield more or less halfway between the two in a diagonal line. Okay, we're set up, and Joshua is a bit perturbed that I put all of the objectives as close to my deployment zone as I can, which means he's got a bit of legwork to do to get to them. So, but again, as we talked about, there's obviously a reason why the attacker gets 3 points if he manages to get to that primary objective. So if he can get onto the primary objective, he will start racking up points, although to be fair, it's only 3 turns to do that. Right, so we're going to roll initiative for the first turn. Right, for turn 1, or battle round 1, the active objective is going to be this one here, near where the shield's set up. Right, initiative roll for the first turn. Now I'm going to use these dice instead of the proper Warcry Chaos dice, because the Chaos dice are very corn. They're not really suitable for any of the other 3 Chaos Gods. So right, let's have a look, see what we get. And remember, we're rolling 7 because of Winds of Fate. Okay, so we've got double 6, double 5, and 3 singles.
Seraphon initiative, I'm going to be using the initiative dice plus a single normal dice for my initiative. And that is a triple 1 and 4 singles. It was a 1.
It was. So you currently have initiative. How would you like to spend your wild die?
I'm going to spend my wild die to turn to give myself an extra 1 to make my triple 1 a quad 1.
Okay, have you got a quad ability, or is he just the general one?
Just the general one.
Right, interesting. I am going to use a wild die, and I think I'll just turn that 4 into a double 4. Alright, so you still have initiative, you've still got 4 ones, so Joshua gets first activation in the first turn.
For my first activation, this Saurus Guard is going to move, and then he's going to move again.
For my first activation, that pink horror on the bell tower is going to move, and then I'm going to use a double on Locus of Sorcery, which is available to all Tzeentch demon models. Add half the value of this ability, rounding up, to the strength characteristic of the next attack action made by this fighter this activation that targets an enemy fighter more than 3 inches away. So I'm going to use my double 5, which then gets rounded up to 3. So that will make his shooting actions strength 6. And he gets 2 attacks. You are toughness 5, so winning on 3s. That's 1 wound, which will do 1 damage.
1 damage, down to 14 wounds. This Saurus Guard has followed the other one and has done 2 moves to get to within 3 inches of the objective.
Ep3 is going to move, and he's going to use the double 6 on Locus of Sorcery, so he gets plus 3 to the strength of his next ranged attack, and he's now going to shoot at the wounded Seraphon Guard, Saurus Guard. So 2 attacks at strength 6, winning on 3s.
Yeah.
That is 1 hit, which is 3 damage.
Okay. So I'm now activating my Saurus Guard Alpha, and he's going to move twice, and then I'm going to spend my quad on Rampage, which gives him a bonus move action and then an attack action.
And that will just get him within range of the iridescent horror down here.
So the Saurus Guard Alpha gets 4 attacks at strength 4, and the iridescent horror is toughness 4?
Yep.
So I'm hitting on 4s. Ooh, that's 3 hits and a crit. So 2 damage on a hit and 5 damage on a crit, for 11 damage in total.
Ouch. And
Iridescent Horror is 22 wounds maximum.
22 wounds maximum, and you just did 11.
Yep.
So he's down half health. So the iridescent horror is going to activate, and he's going to move, so he's within 1 inch of the Saurus Guard Alpha.
Sticks in the way.
Yeah, his pointy pokey thing's in the way. There we go. And I'm then going to use my last double Onslaught, which will give him an extra attack. So his claws normally get 4 attacks at strength 3, so this will give me 5 attacks at strength 3, so winning on 5s.
That's a crit.
That is two crits. That's 4 damage each, 8 damage in total.
This Saurus Guard has moved twice to get from here to within 3 inches of this objective.
So you've now got 2 models within 3 inches of that objective, and I've got none.
Yeah.
For my activation, I'm going to activate this pink horror. He is going to move and then attack the Saurus Guard Alpha. He gets 3 attacks at strength 3, so winning on 5s. So that's everything missed.
This Saurus Guard has also moved twice from his starting position to move closer to the objective, however not within 3 inches of it.
This pink horror is going to move and then attack the Saurus Alpha. Saurus Guard Alpha. So hitting on 5s. Oh, there's a 6, so that is 4 damage.
This Saurus Guard is going to move, and he's then going to move again.
This pink horror is going to move, and then he's going to shoot at the Saurus Guard Alpha. Now, I'm going to give Joshua the benefit of cover, mainly because it doesn't make any difference. Yeah, so in Warcry, benefit of cover is you get +1 to your toughness, which would make him toughness 6, I'm strength 3, but in Warcry you still hit on 5s, because it doesn't matter if it's double the toughness to to half the strength. It's just more or less. So he'll get 2 attacks, winning on 5s. That's a crit.
Oh, what?
Yeah, it's a 1 and a 6.
And for my last activation, this Saurus Guard has also moved twice to get closer to objectives.
This pink horror is going to jump down and then move again to get onto the objective. Now this pink horror under the stairs, well, say under the stairs, just behind the stairs, is going to move and then move again and also get onto the objective, because Joshua's run out of activations now. And then finally this pink horror is going to move, weave between Epicac and end up over there by moving twice. So at the end of battle round 1 it looks something like this. I currently control this objective by weight of bodies, I control the primary objective, and I control this objective by weight of bodies. But I only get 1 point for the primary objective because I'm not the attacker, but I do get 3 points in total. So at the end of battle round 1, the Daemons of Tzeentch are winning 3 points to 0. So for battle round 2, we're going to keep this objective as the primary objective because it's the one that Joshua's going to have the hardest job getting to. Initiative roll for battle round 2. Tzeentch. Ooh, it's a 666.
And a double 2. Double 1, right?
Double 1. And 2 singles.
Seraphon, initiative. That is a double 3, a double 5, and a double 4.
Yeah. So I currently have initiative, but I think I'm going to turn that 4 into another double, so I now only have a single.
Now you see, I really want initiative, so I'm going to spend my wild dice to turn it into a single, therefore giving me initiative.
Okay.
My first activation will be with the Saurus Guard Alpha, and he is going to attack the Iridescent Horror. So this is 4 attacks at strength 4, you are toughness 4.
Yep.
So I'm hitting on 4s. That's a lot worse. That is a crit though for 5 damage, which takes you from 11 to 6.
6 left, yep.
Rinse and repeat. That is another crit and another hit for 2 damage from the hit and 5 from the crit for 7, which then kills you.
Yep, so 12 damage in total. What's 12 in total, wasn't it? 2 crits and a regular.
Yes, so 5, 10, 12.
Yep.
And then I'm going to spend one of my doubles now on the Seraphon leader ability, Cold-Blooded Commander. Let me read this out.
It's called Cold-Blooded Commander, in case you didn't get that.
Yeah. Cold-Blooded Commander. A fighter can use this ability only if an enemy fighter has been taken down by an attack action made by them this activation. And this fighter may make a bonus move or a bonus attack action. So, with the double spent, I am now going to attack this pink horror with my bonus attack action. Toughness 3?
Yep.
So hitting on 3s. That is a hit and 2 hits and a crit. So 5, 7, 9 damage in total.
9 damage. 12 wounds, I've got 3 left. So the iridescent horror does have the split ability, but because it's an ability, you have to do it as part of an activation, and I can't activate him because he's dead. However, I'm now going to activate that pink horror that Joshua just attacked, and I am going to spend the double 1 on split. So split is a double. A fighter can use this ability only if they have 1 or more damage points allocated to them. Set up 2 new fighters with the Tzeentch Demon's rune mark and the Warrior rune mark on the battlefield within 3 inches of this fighter, in other words, 2 blue horrors. Then this fighter is taken down. In a campaign battle, which is not, do not make an injury roll for this fighter. And as Joshua has just graciously pointed out, you can use an ability at any point during an activation, so I may as well fight using the pink horror first. So we'll do that. Thank you, Joshua.
No problem.
So 3 attacks at strength 3. Your
Toughness
toughness 5. There's a crit. That's 4 damage.
Okay.
Second attack. That's 1 damage, so 5 damage in total.
He's down to 2 HP.
And now he's going to spend a double to split.
No, 4.
He's got 4 hit points left.
4 hit points left.
Right, so now the pink horror is going to split into 2 blue horrors. And the blue horrors have popped in. Now then, we can't find anywhere that says that the blue horrors have to be marked as activated. So if you know different, please put a comment below, but we can't find it anywhere that says any new things that get summoned in. Bit like when you had when you were playing Nighthaunt,
yeah,
you brought new models in. They weren't classed as activated. So yeah, we're going to say that the blue horrors are not activated.
With my next activation, I'm going to be activating this Saurus Guard. He's going to move, and now he's going to attack the blue horror that is closest to the objective. This is only 3 attacks as a Saurus Guard, but it is still strength 4. You are toughness
3.
Toughness 3.
And again, tactics from Joshua. He's got a 2-inch range on his weapon, so he's moved. So he's more than 1 inch away from the blue horror and any other Tzeentch demons, but within 2 inches. So if any of the Tzeentch demons want to fight the Saurus Guard, they've got to move first. So tactics.
Yep. Hitting on 3s. That's a crit and a hit. So crits are 4 damage and hits are 2 damage, for a total of 6 damage dealt.
Okay, blue horrors have got 8 wounds, so he's got 2 wounds left. I'm going to activate this pink horror, and he's going to move, and then attack the injured one. So 3 attacks, hitting on 5s. Nothing.
My next activation is going to be on this Saurus Guard. His first action is going to be in disengage, meaning he can move up to 3 inches away from enemy fighters, but he has to end his move at least 1 inch away from all enemy fighters. So he's now moved behind the wall, and he's got a 2-inch range weapon, so for all intents and purposes he can attack over the wall at the pink horror behind it.
Yeah, he can reach up and over and club at the pink horror with his club.
So he gets 3 attacks at strength 4, your toughness 3?
Yep.
Yep. So hitting on 3s with the Saurus Guard. That is 2 hits for a total of 4 damage.
Got 8 left. The pink horror with the fireball is going to attack the Saurus Guard Alpha. So 3 attacks hit on 5s. Nothing. And then again, for his second action. Nothing.
So for my next activation, I'm going to be activating this Saurus Guard, and I'm going to spend a double on Onslaught, which gives him an extra attack with each of his attack actions for the rest of the activation. So, with him having 3 attacks, he now has 4 attacks, and he's going to do 2 attack actions on this pink horror with the fireball.
Ooh, that's 2 crits and a hit.
Yes, that's a total of 10 damage.
Right, so he's got 12 in total, so he's got 2 wounds left.
Second attack action.
You just need a hit.
That's 2 more crits.
Yeah, he's definitely dead. So the blue horror nearest the objective is going to move and then attack that Saurus Guard Alpha. No, Saurus Guard, not Saurus Guard Alpha. Blue horrors get 3 attacks at strength 3, so hitting on 5s. There's a crit. That's only 3 damage from blue horrors.
Okay, so that takes him down to 12 wounds left.
So that was his second action, and then he can use an ability, so I'm going to use a double 4, so that the blue horror can then split again, and similar to when a pink horror turns into 2 blue horrors, a blue horror turns into a single base of brimstone horrors, and he gets put down within 3 inches of the blue horror. And the brimstone horrors have popped up on the other side of the grate, but still within 3 inches of the centre of the objective.
This Saurus Guard is my next activation. He's going to move, and he is then going to attack the blue horror. 3 attacks at strength 4, toughness 3.
Yep.
Winning on 3s.
Ouch.
That is a crit and 2 damage per hit for a total of 8 damage.
Yep, that's exactly enough to kill him. Ep3, Changecaster of Tzeentch, is going to activate, and I'm going to start by using his triple ability, which is Pink Fire. And what I do is I roll 9 dice. Well, I select an enemy model within 9 inches. That will be that chap. It has to be visible, and he is visible. I roll 9 dice, and for each 3 up, it inflicts 1 damage point. That's only 2 fails, so that's 7 damage on that Saurus Guard.
That takes me down to 8.
And that's all my abilities used. Oops, just noticed the Brimstone Horrors. And then he's going to use his blast attack at the same Saurus Guard. So 2 attacks hitting on 5s. Oh, that is 2 hits.
So that's another 6 damage.
Yep.
Shaking them down to 2.
And then same again, 2 attacks hitting on 5s. That's a crit for 6 damage.
He is dead. With my last activation, I am going to spend my last double on Rush. And this Saurus Guard now has an extra inch of movement. So I'm going to move him twice. And at the end of such double movement, he ends up there.
I'm going to activate this pink horror, who's going to move, and then attack the Saurus Guard Alpha. 3 attacks, hit on 5s. Would you say that's cocked or a 6?
That's a 6.
Yeah?
That is more a 6 than it is a 2.
There is that. So that's exactly 4 damage, which is exactly enough to kill him. And Joshua's got nothing left to activate, so the Brimstone Horrors are just going to move, and then wait, which will effectively end their activation. This pink horror up here is going to shoot at that Saurus Guard down there. 2 attacks hitting on 5s. Both miss. Second action, same again. Both miss. This wounded pink horror is going to move and then attack the wounded Saurus Guard. 3 attacks, wounding on 5s. That is 1 damage. For my last pink horror, it is my last pink horror. For my last activation, that pink horror there is going to move and then shoot at this Saurus Guard. So 2 attacks hitting on 5s. Nothing. So at the end of turn 2, or battle round 2, Joshua holds this objective. So he'll get 1 point for that. I hold the primary objective, so I get 1 point for that. And this objective, which will give me another point. So I'm on 5 points to Joshua's 1. So as we go into the third and final battle round, Joshua effectively needs to hold all of the objectives to win. Whereas I just need to deny him one of the objectives. And of course, as Joshua has pointed out, I get to move the primary objective, or at least change which objective I allocate as the primary objective. for the active objective, that's the word, objective, primary objective, we're going to go for this one over here. So I've shifted it because it's the one I've got most heavily defended. Now then, Joshua needs to control all three to win. Battle round 3 initiative roll, Tzeentch Demons. So there's a double 3 and a double 1.
Initiative round 3 for Seraphon. That is a double 6 and a double 3, meaning we are tied for initiative.
Yeah, I've got 3 singles, you've got 3 singles. So we need to do a quick roll off. 3.
4.
So you currently have initiative. What do you want to do with your wild die?
I think I'm gonna turn the 4 into a double 4.
Okay. I am going to turn the 6 into a double 6.
So do I maintain initiative?
I've got 2 singles.
I've got 2 singles.
So I haven't stolen initiative, so yes.
Okay.
So Joshua has just very quickly changed his mind, and he's changed his wild die, so he's got a triple 6. So that hasn't really affected anything. It just cements the fact that he can now have initiative.
So my first activation is on this Saurus Guard. He's going to start by moving, and I am now going to spend my triple 6 on Tearing Bite. Tearing Bite is a triple. Add the value of this ability to the damage points allocated by each hit or critical hit from the next attack action made by this fighter, this activation that is a range characteristic of 3 or less.
So your damage 2/4 weapon has just gone up to a damage 8/10 weapon. And I've got 12 wounds on that pink horror.
3 attacks at strength 4, toughness 3, we're hitting on 3s. No! Nothing!
That is just... oh dear, yeah. Tzeentch really didn't want you to get that.
No! My plan!
Well, that pink horror is going to spend the rest of his days not knowing how lucky that was. In all fairness to Joshua, he's been a very, very good sport about that. I was hoping he'd miss with 2, but to miss with all 3, yeah, that just sucks.
I don't think I can win now. The plan was to kill him, to free it down to 2, have him kill him, and then run one round.
Well, you're probably right, but let's play it out.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to activate the wounded pink horror up there, and he's going to attack that Saurus Guard next to him twice, because it might take both attacks to kill him. I will use the double 6 on Locus of Sorcery to get it. Oh no, that's only a ranged attack, so I can't do that. I'm going to use a double 1
for Onslaught?
Yeah, for Onslaught to give him 4 attacks.
Fair enough.
So 4 attacks hitting on 5s. That's 2 crits, that's 8 damage.
He's down to 2 hit points.
And then he's going to attack again.
He's dead.
Yeah, that's another 6, it's just off camera. That's another critical.
Oh no.
Now you see, I just cocked up, because what I then should have done was... I now can't use an ability, because I've just used an ability. I was then going to split him.
Oh well.
To get 2 more blue horrors on that objective, which I now can't do.
It's not like you need them though, let's be real.
No. Right, so that's that activation done.
For my next activation, I'm activating this Saurus Guard. I'm spending my double for Onslaught, giving him 4 attacks. First action will be to attack the pink horror in front of him. Hitting on 3s. That is 2 hits for 4 damage in total.
Yep, so I've got 8 wounds left.
And now for second action. That's crit and 2 hits for 8 damage.
Yeah,
just enough to kill him.
Well, the luckiest pink horror in the universe, i.e. that one, is going to use a double on Onslaught and attack the Saurus Guard. The unluckiest Saurus Guard in the universe. 4 attacks hitting on 5s. Nothing.
I think he needs.
I think the look's changed.
Yeah.
Second attack action. Oh, 2 damage. Puts him down to 13.
13 wounds left.
So with that, Joshua is going to concede because it's just not physically possible for him to control all 3 objectives. He's currently controlling that one, but I've got stuff that could just contest it if necessary. And as I say, Joshua needs to control all of them, and he just doesn't have enough bodies to control the primary objective, which is the one he needs most. So yes, a valiant effort, and I did say to him at one point, if anybody can do it, he can. But, oh dear me. So yeah, bearing in mind that many Seraphon, there are some physical Seraphon in the universe at this point in the Age of Sigmar timeline, but the majority of them are still basically memories made manifest by the old ones in the slam.
He's a bad memory.
Yeah, I think he's going to be forgotten.
Very soon, very quickly.
So at this particular location on the outskirts of the Silver Tower, the Daemons of Tzeentch were able to drive back the Seraphon, but spoiler alert, although I've already spoiled it in the introduction, yeah, the Seraphon were able to enact Lord Croak's plan and force the Silver Tower to rise off the ground and effectively go into warp space, the space that exists between the realms, where there is an ambush waiting for them by Seraphon starships, who then manage to shoot down the Silver Tower, which crashes down into the realm of Chamon. So yeah, ultimately you did win. In the grand scheme of things, and the narrative that we're trying to tell, you were always going to win this game.
Yeah.
But, yeah. And I do feel a little bit guilty, because I did have a 25-point advantage, but as someone pointed out, in the last game we played, Joshua added up his points wrong, and he had a 100-point advantage in the last game, so I don't feel terribly bad about it. But yeah, it was interesting to see the demons with their split abilities, and also, you were quite worried about it at the beginning, because you were worried about me effectively getting free fighters by them splitting in. But most of the things you were able to kill outright.
Yeah.
And if you kill them outright, they don't get to split.
No.
So I was only able to use the split ability once, so and then split again once. So I managed to get 1 pink horror to split into 2 blues, and then 1 blue horror to split into a brimstone horror. So it didn't happen as often as you thought.
No.
Yeah, it was interesting. I love my Tzeentch demons. I don't get to use them very often. So
first impressions of the Saurus Guard, they're really good.
They're chunky, aren't they?
Yeah.
Toughness 5.
And 3 attacks at strength 4 with 2-inch range. That's nothing to scoff at.
Yeah, and when you can put that triple on them, which gives you the value of the triple in addition to the damage from hits or critical hits. I mean, a lot of abilities like that, you can only assign them to critical hits. So the fact that you can assign it to any hit...
Yeah, allocated to by each hit or critical hit.
Yeah, that makes it really powerful.
Even low values like a 2, it's really powerful because it turns it from a 2 damage and a 4 damage crit to a 4 damage, 6 damage crit.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
And then, yeah, 3 attacks at strength 4 is also, like, really nice.
Yeah. And again, in terms of the way that this scenario played out, I think it was one of those ones where Joshua was always going to be on the back foot, and no matter how you swing it, I think this is one scenario in terms of the victory conditions that is quite heavily weighted against the attacker. But there's several like that, and there's several that are quite heavily weighted against the defender. I mean, that one we played with the Nighthaunt against the Grots, it was quite tricky for me to get from the edges all the way into the centre of the table. So that was always going to be a tricky one. So, but anyway, that was that. Anything else to add?
Despite that horrendous loss, especially from him, it was a good game. I had to think hard about what I was going to do. Originally, I was a bit like, the 3 objectives all hidden. I'm not going to get any of them. I did manage to get that one, which I am pleased with.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, this one.
Ooh, camera's frozen. There we go.
Yeah, I did manage to get that one, which I was pleased about. Saurus Guard Alpha, very, very strong.
Yeah, you overextended him, I think. You did the right thing, I think, in putting pressure on early, charging him forwards onto that objective, but then ultimately he got overwhelmed.
And the fact I could pair Terran Bite with him as well, and he's got the extra attack.
Yeah.
I think that's something I should.
And he does more damage anyway, doesn't he? Or is it
two
just crits?
2 damage and a 5 damage crit.
So he gets a high damage crit. So.
Yeah. So making more of a use out of that would have been nice to see.
Yeah. But yeah, that was that. Thank you very much for watching. Please continue to like,
comment,
and subscribe. And until next time, God bless.